There are very few things that I have done every single day in regards to a workout. I got really close. I was doing 6 days a week when I was doing indoor rowing, and I was attending a club, and just the energy and the frequency, like you could feel the vibe in the studio when you were rowing with other people. And that lasted for about a year. And then things started to fizzle out after that. And then, even though I tried to row on my own at home, it didn't last. And so I'm really observing my behavior on the rebounder because one, I'm doing it by myself and I'm doing it from home. But I think about you when I'm rebounding, and I am legitimately smiling at you and interacting with you because I am thinking about how you would be interacting with me if we were together. And so I think that is bringing my vibe up, because I know that there are times that if I was just bouncing for like just for me in that sense, I would not bring the same level of enthusiasm and excitement. And so it changes everything, is what I'm pointing out, when your energy changes. And what I loved in those early days about rowing was that I had a big goal that I was competing towards. Every time there was like milestones to be achieved, and the energy of rowing when other people were there and we were like racing, so to speak, against each other, you could feel that with the different energy picking up from the different people working out so hard. It was fun. And I've been to other classes that are fun in that same regard, but I'm just saying that's the one I lasted the longest with. Now here I am, and I'm doing rebounding on a daily basis. And wherever you're at with rebounding, think about your consistency. Think about how you're staying with it. And does it feel different to you than other activities you've tried before? Because to me, it does. The other thing that I think that is different about rebounding versus something else, so let's even use rowing that I was just talking about. A row machine, it's like you're strapped in with your feet and you're pushing back and forth, and then it's a little bit with arm movements pulling the handlebar. And in doing that, it's like back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And all you can change is the pacing, but your body positioning doesn't really change that much. In rebounding, especially because I'm a big arms person, like I'm moving my arms so much as well as my legs. There's so many different ways to move. It's like there are unlimited options and combinations and pacing and all the different, even though I did the exact same activities tomorrow, then it could still be different because I could change up my intensity. Yes. And I could change how much I'm pushing in, or I could start to jump off of the rebounder, and I could just change up different elements that now it feels very different. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm feeling it differently inside of my body, as far as my body building up strength and stamina and muscles as I'm working out. And the thing that happened with rowing is that my body started to become accustomed to the movement, because the movement didn't change. All that you would change was your RPM, like how quickly you were moving, the intensity with which you rode. Well, here we can change that, yes, but we can also change the positions we're doing, change the movement, change so many different variables. And that's what I love about rebounding, because it's one, it's not growing stagnant. It's not like fatiguing me as far as boredom. And it's definitely not giving my body exactly the same thing every day. Now, the other thing I would say about rebounding, that you can vary like variety in the intensity of your mat. So when you are bouncing, I'm on a Bellicon today, and the Bellicon has a softer, what do I want to say, like a more giving bounce. Like you get a really good bounce effect out of it. And there are some other rebounders that don't feel the same way. And they're a little more stiff, a little bit more in place. They have less give. And I'm trying to say it and use different adjectives to help you to understand, because I know you're not necessarily feeling each and every one of these rebounders the way I'm testing out different rebounders. But that's the other thing that I noticed is such a difference. Whereas the row machine, I just came in and picked a seat. Like there wasn't a lot of variety. And even going to different models kind of felt pretty much the same. But in rebounding, you have different tensions, you have and different like movement adaptability in the actual trampoline itself. So it can feel very different in how you approach it. And there are times when I have done something that's firmer and my body was not in the mood for it. It was too much of a shock on my joints and I needed the softer bounce. I am so grateful that I did come in possession of a Bellicon because this works really well for where I'm at right now in my body joints and the comfort level that my body needs, especially because I'm carrying the extra weight. So, extra weight, the impact of working out, this is why I don't run. What is it that they say? It's like 3 times, 6 times. It's like an extreme number. You don't just run with your current amount of weight. Every impact of running is multiplied towards an whatever factor. I'm sorry, I don't know that off the top of my head, but you know what I mean? Like running is such jarring motions on your joints. But rebounding, we don't have that same effect. But you do need to check if you're feeling that at all whenever you rebound. You do want to check into your trampoline settings. And if your trampoline is adjustable, and if not, then maybe we even want to go test a trampoline, like search around. I mean, just set the intention out into the universe that you would like to be able to test another trampoline, and you just come across somebody who has one maybe, and they'll let you borrow it for 5 minutes and test it and feel the difference in another style of trampoline, because it's so helpful for you to understand. This has been a night and day kind of experience and understanding for me, is to feel how different the rebounders can feel, to know I have variety in what I'm doing. And the other thing is I can build up at my own pace. So there have been times that I have set exercise goals and I have started to work out and I jump on the elliptical. I've used the elliptical so many times to try and get into shape throughout the years, like starting back in college to other times. But I can just remember I would go in, and the elliptical is one of those things that is, more intensity than a walk, and it gives you a lot of movement like you would get from running without the harshness. I think of running as kind of harsh and jolting, but anyhow, it gives you that without that impact because it's a lighter frame of movement. So you can get on a elliptical and you can take off on your first day and say, do 20, 30 minutes. And especially like when I was younger and I wasn't carrying all this weight, I could just jump on there and do that. But then I would feel it like coming into the next couple of days. And because all of a sudden your body goes into that shock. Or you would show up and you would do a weight class, yes? And all of a sudden it's like the next day you can't even, every time you have to sit down, you're like, and you're eking and you're in pain. And so it gets hard to want to keep up and work through that because it's painful. You have such resistance to continuing to do something because the starting date, either you went too much, you went too hard, or you did it and now you're achy that it's harder to keep going. And so you've got to have those modifications in place. The thing I would say about rebounding, now it's not that you can't go too hard on the rebounder. 100% you absolutely can. It's just, it gives you a gentler approach. And that's what I'm so excited to be able to talk all the time on this channel about gentle rebounding, because you really can just get started and just give yourself, instead of trying to start, like when my first day, I was desperate. I was like, I'm going to make it to this 5-minute mark. And I couldn't understand why making it to 5 minutes was so hard on my body. What would have been better? Let me say this to you. If you have not yet started, what would have been better, instead of setting an arbitrary number, like that's what it was. It was just me in my mind saying I wanted to go to five minutes. Well, that meant nothing. What I should have done is say, okay, I'm going to just bounce until my body says stop. Listen to your body. And so maybe that for me was really, I was like past the 2 minute, between the 2 and the 3 minute mark, my body wanted to stop. And I was really, really modifying after the 3 minute mark to make it to 5 minutes. But that being said, because I was pushing my body past its limits, it wasn't ready to go there. What would have been healthier for me, especially throughout that first week, the aches and pains that I was experiencing from pushing myself too hard, what would have worked better is just to do a couple minutes here and a couple minutes maybe in the afternoon. And then I'm like, okay, I got 4 minutes in today. And then maybe tomorrow I see, can I repeat that? And of course, but I could just be doing different workouts and different moves because you just have such variety in how you do it. I freeform every single day. And even right now, I'm just freeforming in my movements. I'm also freeforming in my conversation, but it's an element of the freedom to move the way that fits your body. So I cannot stress enough that in ways that other exercises tell you there's a proper posture and form and you have to hook in and sit this way and do these things, and you're always using the same sequence of motion, the same series of muscles, it's so different than that on the rebounder. And so once again, I just enjoy the variety of it. I love the pacing of it. I love the variety. And for me, this has been very helpful in me being able to go the distance, stay consistent, keep showing up day in and day out. So that's what I just wanted to ask you is how is it feeling for you as you go about your rebounding journey? Are you working out daily? And, it's not a matter of time, just are you showing up for yourself daily? Like even this, just I could spend an entire session just doing stretches. Like this low squat stretch and like sitting down into that pose, like most only children squat like that. But it is so good and it works my body in different ways. And when I discovered that I started doing that instead of just regular squats, it just started to change and loosen up my body. And I feel this effectiveness. I also don't just get on and do squats. I was watching somebody's YouTube video that came up in my feed, and the very first thing they jumped on is I just started squatting away. I have to let my body warm up. My joints need to get loose and feel ready before they can go into those squats. And then after I've done the first set and I've done some other things, when I come back and I do a second or a third set of squats later on, oh my, it feels so different. I feel so much better. So just notice where your body's at. Listen to your body and show up in the way that makes sense for you so that you can go the distance. And please jump into the comments. Let me know, how are you showing up on your rebounder? What is a workout like for you? Are you following along with me or you're making up your own? Thanks for joining me today. Happy bouncing, friend, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.